Hi, thanks for coming. The main statement from Tantra says, make yourself happy, happier the next instant. I'm going to talk about a subject that's fraught with unhappiness. Recently, I have a friend. He had been having unprotected sex, and over 5 months ago. And just recently, he went in to get tested and he came back HIV positive. And so to see him worry about the test and how he's going to interact with people, I realize in a microcosm all the problems that people have with this. And I know people will say, well, they did this to themselves, so why should you help them? And I can't look at it like that. Tantra says, make yourself happier at the next instant. The, these same people that would say, well, let them suffer the consequences. When they would see a child out in the street and a car coming to them, would not have a second thought. Go pick that child, take it off the street, even at the risk of their own lives. Well, my view is very similar to that. I just didn't realize how much suffering there was. And I suffered with high blood sugar, and I was able to beat it. I'll put a link to my video. 300,000 people have viewed it, and some of them have taken it up and gotten better. So when I thought, okay, well, let me go see if the techniques that I use with diabetes would be of some help with AIDS and even with the Zika virus. And a long time ago, I studied about silver. My brother had diabetes and he got a diabetic foot wound like I did. And he actually exposed the bone. And I'm going to get to it, just hold on. He got osteomyelitis, which is an infection in the bone, and there's nothing to treat it. So they were thinking to amputate. And at that time, I had been very much into silver water, because silver water is an antibacterial agent, it's an antiviral agent, which is where it comes into with AIDS. And so I said, okay, well, I made some up for him. I took him down a bottle about this big. And I said, well, Sonny, I got this so you could test it out. It doesn't interfere with the other stuff you're taking. It just adds to it. And so my brother took it, okay, and he drank the whole bottle. I couldn't believe it. I said, well, Sonny, okay, because there's one of the things with the silver water, if you take too much of it, your skin turns a blue tinge. I guess he didn't care. He didn't even wait for me to tell him. The, the infection was gone within 2 days. I never forgot it. This was over almost 25, 30 years ago now. And so I went, because of my friend, I went and looked at uh, silver water and AIDS treatment. And there's actually a link where saying people are getting cured by that. And I also Googled autophagy and AIDS. And it's quite amazing. There is a big, strong correlation between autophagy and AIDS. Autophagy, for you that don't know, which is most of you, is the ability of the body to clean up cellular debris. So, and actually, this would be very useful for some types of cancers, I'm sure, and Alzheimer's. But anyway, back to the Zika virus and AIDS, which are viruses. Okay, so what my proposal is to combine the silver water with inducing of autophagy. And so I'm going to put some links there to both of those things. I won't be able to do it today because I'm behind the times. I wanted to get this up because what I saw with the curing of diabetes, if I help one person by putting it up a week earlier, I've done good. So forgive my sloppiness, forgive my haste in putting it up. I'll try and correct it as I go along. And as like in the diabetes video, I allow people to post because there's more than one thing. And my philosophy is whatever works. So I invite you to make comments that will help other people if you think that's worthwhile. Of course, this will draw the people that want to make a fast buck by talking about things that don't work. I will do my best to look them up and see if they work and allow them to be posted, but sometimes I don't have time. Anyway, the reason why I put Chinese medicine in the title is because the whole essence of Chinese medicine is you take a number of disparate procedures that help a little. And the cumulative effect of that is greater than the sum of the parts. In actuality, this procedure has been validated. They did a scientific study, and what they determined was you could, especially with NASA, so NASA would have a whole slew of experiments go on up at the space station. And as long as the experiments didn't interfere with another experiment, it was just as valid as if it was done singly. So they could pack more stuff into the space, into the supply ship, and have them run those experiments at the same time. And that's what this is. The autophagy, which helps to suppress the HIV virus, because if you're in the state of autophagy, your body switches off converting starches to sugar and goes around looking for senile cells, foreign objects, anything that could be used to convert, can take apart and reconstruct to make glucose. That's why fat cells get gobbled up in the state of autophagy. You can lose weight this way. And so I can't think, so autophagy is very selective. It won't take heart muscle. It won't take brain cells. It won't take neurons. It has a protocol, if you will, of what to take. And right up at the top are viruses, because they harm the body. They aren't doing any good. And so then as soon as the T cells find those, they'll destroy them. Now you have to have T cells in order to do that. But what you're going to get is some help from the silver. I actually have ordered some for my friend, the smallest silver nanoparticles. Silver acts by disrupting the cell wall. And I don't remember the exact action. You can go look it up. You can Google it. What the silver, because it's so small, goes beyond the blood-brain barrier in the brain, where the virus hides out when you're using regular drugs, antivirals. Okay, that's why they don't ever get rid of it. Okay, because you take the antivirals and the cocktails, and it kills the T cell. It kills the HIV virus outside of the blood-brain barrier, but not in. Okay, so the 1-2 punch is to take the prescription drugs. They're going to work. Okay, you just have to figure out which ones are going to work. Okay, but you want to boost your immune system, and you want to use the silver to knock down the virus inside the brain. So a couple of things I wanted to show you. Okay, I've been collecting. This is degree antiperspirant. You know what it's got in it to antiperspirant deodorant? It's got silver ions. And by God, it'll help you keep you from getting colds and stuff. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a very good source of silver ions. Okay, I got something for immune support at the 99-cent store. By the way, one of the things I read about inducing autophagy, there are things that induce it. Vitamin D. Surprise, surprise. I didn't know that. I got this book. I haven't had a chance to read it. Okay, but I wanted to show you. Okay. The whole idea behind Chinese medicine is you get different procedures. Okay, so this is a book full of it. It talks about how to rebuild your immune system. Okay. I think in order to pursue this, it doesn't cost a lot. But what it does do is require that you change some of your habits. And I know some people are going to object to that. Absolutely. One of the things that induces autophagy is that You don't eat for 18 hours at a time. And it was quite a surprise to me to find out people that didn't even want to pursue that because it was going to be a problem for them. Well, and so I understand if you've got HIV, you want to go back to the life you had. Well, sorry, that life's gone. It went the moment you got the diagnosis. You just didn't know it. And likewise, when people told me that I had diabetes, I said, well, okay, I'm not going to have diabetes soon. But what I had to do, once I made up my mind to do that, is that I had to change my lifestyle. And this is the same thing. Okay, well, the only point in talking about something that's very an unhappy subject is that you can come to the conclusion that say, okay, we'll get past this and go back to a better life. May not be the same life, but it's a better life. Okay? And see, I'm dealing with an unhappy subject. It's only unhappy if you don't have a way to make your life better. It's like a surgeon discussing an operation. And he's talking about when he's talking about doing an operation of cutting something and pinching something and doing this and doing that, all painful things. But the reason he tells you that is to make you feel more comfortable going into the surgery, and hopefully you'll have a better recovery. It's all in the way you look at it. Okay. I will add posts to things as I find them, but I wanted to get this out there so people could look at it, could have another way to proceed that's going to succeed. Thank you.